Right, what are your favourite arcade games from your youth? Tell me and leave a comment below. One of mine was Rampage, and I spent zillions of hours obsessively trying to smash buildings to smithereens. But how similar was the 2018 movie? Are you ready to smash your way through Film versus Game? The game was released in 1986 and the plot was super simple. It features three protagonists: George, a giant monkey, Lizzie, a giant lizard, and Ralph, a giant wolf. They've all been transformed into these mega beasts after consuming a food additive. A food additive! The 80s were simpler times. They wreak havoc or rampage through cities across America, essentially just smashing buildings up and stuff. The plot was super simple, but it was so much fun. So how do you create a feature-length movie from that? Well, in 2018, they certainly gave it a go. In a desperate attempt to intellectualise the game, the film's plot centres around the animals being mutated from an alien pathogen. After that, a giant crocodile, yeah, we'll get to that later, a giant monkey and a giant wolf rampage across Chicago. George was a captive gorilla who communicated to humans via sign language, but as a giant beast, he's lost all semblance of personality. So at the end of the film, George comes to his senses, he battles the two beasts, and he almost dies, and we're left with the city in tatters. Yep, so basically, it's still the same idea. Huge monsters go on a rampage through the city and smash things up, but that's it. So I'm giving this a similarity rating of 1 out of 5 Georges. So let's get on to the characters. George is still a giant gorilla, but in the film he's an albino gorilla. We've got Ralph, who's a wolf, and Lizzie isn't a Godzilla-like lizard that you see in the game. She's a crocodile. Just a big, massive crocodile. They've also clearly tried to rely on the bankability of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Now, I like a daft Dwayne Johnson movie, but let's get cynical. Let's get cynical, cynical. In the same year, he released Skyscraper. That's Dwayne Johnson on a massive building without a monkey. And in 2017, he was in The Fate the Furious, Baywatch, and Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, which was pretty decent actually. This all feels like a wee bit of a cash grab to me, so I'm going to give this a similarity rating of 2 out of 5 Georges. Right, so the soundtrack and the game are just computer noises, just bleeps and crashes and random sounds. So it'd be a wee bit weird if the film had no music at all. The music for the film was composed by Andrew Lockington, a Canadian composer who worked on films like San Andreas and The Space Between Us. Kid Cudi also contributed to the soundtrack with an exclusive track called The Rage, which samples the Smashing Pumpkins hit Bullet with Butterfly Wings. Pretty generic stuff. So when it comes to the music, I'm giving this one 1 out of 5 Georges. Difficulty. So the game was pretty simple, but it could be pretty difficult when the military descended and you were trying to smash buildings whilst they fired on you from all angles. It was really fun though, as rage-inducing as it could be. The film's difficulty is non-existent. I mean, yes, the monsters get to the city and they do start smashing things up, but being the generic action movie this is, you basically know that the humans are going to win in the end and peace is going to be restored. Literally zero jeopardy or emotional attachment here. But the film couldn't be the same as the game really, because that would be pretty boring. It's just a never-ending onslaught with monsters smashing things up. Actually, I may have paid to see that instead, to be honest. Similarity rating here is 1 out of 5 Georges. It's beyond me why this film ever got greenlit, but it did make the 20th highest grossing films of 2018, but the reception pretty much was that it's a brainless popcorn movie, and there is nothing wrong with that, but this is not going to change the world. The game was really fun, really simple, really compelling, and that's all that it ever was meant to be, and that was the beauty of the game. The film tries to squeeze in this generic, shallow plot to enable these three beasts to rampage through the city, but halfway through watching the film I was just questioning why I was even watching it. I'm going to be very generous here and give this a similarity rating of 2 out of 5 Georges. So, if you enjoyed this, please tell me in the comments below which arcade games you'd like to see made into movies. And remember to smash that subscribe button for more gaming fun. I'll see you next time.